Okay, good evening, viewers, and welcome to another series, the fourth series actually in our long series of Igbo Say No to Another War from NIROH, Ndigbo Heritage. We have our guest in the studio as usual, Dr. Paul Okoye, an author, scholar, and activist who has spent the most of his adult life fighting for human rights. Dr. Paul Okoye is here today to share his opinions, his ideas on matters arising in Nigeria and particularly in the Southeast. He's been at the forefront of campaigns against another war that is on the heels of the uprising of violence in the southeastern part of Nigeria. He's been lending his voice against another war. And something interesting happened yesterday that has set the media abuzz. The rearrest of the leader of the independent indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, as Nnamdi Kanu. But before we go into the crux of the matter, I'd like to welcome you to the program, Dr. Paul.
Thank you, Vin. Thank you, Viet.
You're welcome once again. So today, like I said, the news media in Nigeria have been set abuzz by the news of the rearrest of the leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. Many Igbo social cultural groups have responded to this development. How does Ndigbo Heritage respond to this? What do they have to say, Dr. Paul?
Well, in the first place, I want to be very emphatic on certain issues. Now, the position of Ndigbo Heritage is that there are evils ongoing in Nigeria, and with special regards to the Igbo nation, there are evils, persistent evils, persecutions, killings, and a lot of them. And the position officially of the Ndigbo Heritage is that Nnamdi Kanu added to the situation. But the law is clear. The fundamental human rights of Nnamdi Kanu must be respected. You see, the law says that everybody is innocent until otherwise convicted by a judicial court of law. The position of Ndigbo Heritage is, despite our position, despite the opinion, despite the position of the government or everybody, that Nnamdi Kanu should go through the course of law, that he should not be victimized unjustly, that he should have a fair hearing, and that a competent court of jurisdiction should be able to assess his activities and formally discharge, acquit, or convict and condemn him. This is formally and officially the position of Ndigbo Heritage worldwide, and I want to be emphatic on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. But what do you make of the manner of his arrest from the information at your disposal?
You said what?
What do you make of the manner of his arrests from the information at your disposal?
Well, if you want to follow the juridical position of this situation, Nnamdi Kanu has been at large. You see, there are errors that we commit in life, and when we commit those errors will sort us out. You see, there are so many things we have to accept and we have to take as given. Power is never negotiated. People who desire power have to fight their way through power. And in fighting for power, there are prices you must pay. Kanu negotiated his release. He negotiated his release. I cannot comprehend the reason for the negotiation, but that was his opinion, or the opinion of indigenous people of Biafra. You see, I hold different opinions about everything that happened about IPOB, because first and foremost, I think they don't even have good competent hands to catch them. Because the one that you call Barrister for me is a little different. I don't see him as there are so many laws that you can choose from. So I don't understand the reason for the negotiation. First, if you negotiate, you have to remain within the terms of that negotiation. So I don't see the point in negotiation to come out of court and you sign that you cannot be in the midst of an assembly of more than 5 people. Then you come out of the court, somebody signed and took you on bail. 2 days later, you call a conference. 3 days later, so you see, we have to be consistent with what we do, with what we say in life. So I think my opinion is that Nnamdi Kanu had been at large. He ran away. He said there was the operation, whatever they call it, a python dance. Yet you see, don't join the world of activism and expect that it's bed of roses. Why do you think that every artist you know don't carry long beards? Think they don't want to share or they don't want to paint their fingers or nails? Many of them lived in the bush. So I don't understand everything that happened about him. First, there was a pattern dance or whatever it is. Where is he running to? I said who was going to prison something. I said it the other day. When Shenka was in prison, when he was coming to Biafra during the time of not like government to put, they picked and put him in prison. Mandela was in prison for 26 years. Then the other had gone and who cannot how many times he was in prison. So the point is, when you go to prison, you negotiate, you are coming out. Now, when you come out, there was Operation Python dance, you ran away. So you don't go to war if you are afraid of dying. That's the first point. Secondly, you ran away, other people run into the bush. Chekau, or whatever you call it, that is leading the what is it called? The Boko Haram, is living in the bush. When they look for Saddam Hussein, he went into the bunker. When they look for Gaddafi, they got him in the gutter. When they look for Samuel Doe, he went in the bush. When they look for every other person you can think of, Abu Lasharan was living in the bush. So why do you want to go to UK and live in the luxury of a comfort of a hotel? No. Or you a freedom fighter or you are not. So his address was normal. The world is a global village. It's time we have to begin to accept that. I've said it insistently again. A government is a government. There are 2 powers on earth, the power of God and the power of man. My disagreement with Kanu is that you have no possibility to fight the government. You cannot get Biafra by signpost and the seat. Everything he has said is the seat. I have said insistently, the government is government. When they put the machinery of justice in motion, they will pick him up. You come and tell the boss, yes, I'm going to see this, I'm going to you and we'll get to that part, maybe we'll take it up on a more detailed form. But the point that his arrest is, he's been at large. He jumped the bench. So the judge issued the bench warrant. The issue of whether he's right or wrong is not out of the contest. The point is that he jumped bench. When you remain in prison and fight your cause. Most people are more useful in prison than outside. I don't know who his advisors are. If I were his advisor, I disagree with IPOB, I disagree with Biafra, and I've said 1 million times why I disagree with IPOB and why I disagree with Biafra. All of us have our own conditions. We have our own convictions, but there are certain things that are statics and must be taken as given. What are those 3 things that are statics and must be taken as given? Buhari was democratically elected president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He was re-elected about 2 years ago. There's no member of the international community that will listen to you. So if you want to tell me that you can pull Buhari, you are simply an illiterate. I suggest you go back to school or you look for a competent person, qualified person to advise you. If anybody tells that you can listen to you, you are an illiterate or the person is an illiterate. You are an illiterate in that field at least. Because Bob said that you have universities and education does not mean that you are educated. So the point is that all of them are misinformed. Or they don't have the right person to advise and educate them, or they don't want to waste 2 minutes to go and read or to go and study, because everything that I've said is rubbish. Today, government of Nigeria have in a few days, not in years, in a few days, dismantled IPOB. Ikonso, who is supposed to be the head of the armed forces of Nnamdi Kanu and his ESN, was caught. And he was killed like a rat. The one that was terrorizing Owerri was caught. How do you intend to deliver the Igbo nation with one native doctor in Ibadan or in Aglade? That's madness. In 2021, you took the Igbo nation and it's not a soldier, it's not a police. The point is that if we take a consul to an armory, he does not know the name of ammunitions. So how can he be the leader of or chief of staff of Biafra armed forces? The fact of staff means that Nnamdi Kanu is a deceit. No, what did he build on? How does he intend to fight Nigerian government? And I'm saying, when you are fighting Nigeria, you are fighting UK. If you are fighting UK, you are fighting NATO, because there is not the Atlantic Treaty that was formed after the Second World War. If you are fighting NATO, that means you are fighting all the powers on earth. That's the position. So there's nothing you can do about that. Now, Nnamdi Kanu, he intended to fight the war with who? With a native doctor. He also is a native doctor living in the bush. Or you yourself, you say you are still carrying Nigerian passport. When they caught him, they caught Nigerian passport with him. So everything about him is deceit. You can't win a war on deceit and signpost. This is the problem. My problem is that I didn't know that Igbo people are such gullible people. I thought we are a little bit above par. I thought we are a little bit intelligent to understand these things. That is not possible for one person to wake up and say, I'm going to speak at United Nations. Not because he cannot go to speak at United Nations, but because there are no provisions. There are covenants, there are procedures. UN is not where you go, you wake up, you go and talk. Like other.
Permit me to cut in here, Doc. I remember that when IPOB took off, when in the beginning when they started, they did not start as a violent or a militant group. They were only marching with their flags, making noise, insulting people, making broadcasts, but they did not start off as a militant group. So it's personally, I think it's a mismatch to compare him to Shekau, who is a militant in the bush, or those people who's been wielding guns. Don't you think it's a mismatched comparison?
You see, killing is killing. There's a parable we make in the Igbo nation. Killing is killing. Whether you kill by accident, whether it's a programmed killing, it's called distinguishes between manslaughter, between murder and the rest of them. Somebody has lost his life. Shekau is guilty of murder, mass murder. Kanu is guilty of murder, mass murder. You see, that Kanu started the killing yesterday does not change the fact that he's a killer. He had several broadcasts. He announced formally and officially that he does not want to see a police officer, he doesn't want to see a soldier along the road. You see, when the life of people are at stake, sentiments becomes unattainable, becomes unimportant. What you think and what I think will not be bargained for human life. We are saying that human lives are involved. Lives are involved. You can't start something you cannot finish. Now, if you start something you cannot finish, it simply means that you are a deceit. Now, look at it. Look at it. There's no point to marching Shekau. I've said it so many times, and let me repeat here. The point is that we have to understand the implications of law. One is a murder, one is a manslaughter. The one that is manslaughter might have killed, there's what is called crime element. The reason behind your killing is more important than the killing. That's why we have manslaughter. That's why we have murder. Because the crime element is more important than the crime itself. The reason why you kill is more important than the killing itself. So Shekau is killing because Shekau says, I want everybody to become a Muslim. It is killing. was just a different reason for killing. Nnamdi Kanu is killing because he said, I want to break up Nigeria. It is killing, but it's felony. It's traceable felony. Now, myself as an Igbo man, what do I have against Nnamdi Kanu? To reply your question directly, you see, my friend, you can't fight a war without intelligentsia. When we are fighting the war, the one that we fought with Ojukwu, Zik was in London, Shino Achebe was in Canada, Mafodis was in US. You can't fight a war without intelligentsia. The problem we have today with Nnamdi Kanu and his gang up, because you cannot call him, there can't be anything reasonable or serious about that, is that there is no person except, what is his name? Senator, what is this one that is
Abaribe? Abaribe?
Is an IPOB member, you see, because
not necessarily. He has said it that he's not a member. He has said that several.
He's an IPOB member. You see, being a member of an organization does not really mean being a carrying person of that organization. You can associate with an association socially, culturally, psychologically, sentimentally. I give you another example. Somebody like Ebube Monso is an IPOB member. He was there. He has said it so many times. But my problem is that these people, or they do not have enough information, or they do not understand strategically what I am saying. I am not saying that Nigeria is okay. I don't know how I'm going to say it again for people to understand the point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying that Buhari is a good president. I don't know how to explain it again. I'm not saying that Buhari is not nepotic. I don't know how to explain this again. I've said 1,000 times, Buhari is insensitive. Buhari is insensitive to the situation of the populace, of the majority of Nigerians. I've said 1,000,000 times, Buhari can do better. I've said that I cannot comprehend his appointments. The people he recycled in government, they are worn out. I cannot comprehend. I've never seen in mankind where one man holds 4 most important ministry in a government. It has not happened anywhere on earth. It has never happened on earth. So, but these are facts. The point is that bad that is made. Nnamdi Kanu added to that problem. When he formed ESN, if he had gone to the bush to go and fight Fulani herdsmen, everybody could have supported him. But he formed ESN to start killing Igbo people, to start killing his enemy. All along, he has been fighting a war, a political war. He is in vendetta.
How possible is this that someone who's been preaching against violence against the Igbos would form an outfit to fight against his people? Is that possible?
Nnamdi Kanu
is not known to be a politician, is it?
The only people Nnamdi Kanu have killed are Igbos. He has not killed one Fulani herdsman. Now, it comes so that as a result of activities of Nnamdi Kanu, the first attempt he made was to kill Soludo. You know, who are the unknown gunmen, whatever you call him? The first person that attacked was Soludo. Nnamdi Kanu said officially that he cannot guarantee election again in the East. So everything he was doing was to see that there was no election. I have this broadcast. He's not denying them. He pulled down all the electoral offices in the East, all the INEC offices in the East were burned down. Why was he doing that? Because he does not want election. He said it publicly. He's not denying it. So his actions, his words were matched with actions. When he embarrassed the Deputy Senate President, Ike Kweremadu, he said that he was part of the people. They had a meeting at Enugu, and after their meeting at Enugu, Operator Pass Commandants, they came to attack him. So he was clear. The only point is that Igbos, because Nnamdi Kanu is saying some of those things happening to them, they have no option. Buhari is not ruling properly. Buhari is committing a lot of blunder. You cannot make all these security chiefs Northerners. So when Nnamdi Kanu said that, he's saying something that people from the eastern part of Nigeria want to hear. So they buy into it. Again, they couldn't have done otherwise. How can they defend themselves? Nnamdi Kanu is saying what Buhari is doing. So if you stand up to say, no, Nnamdi Kanu, stop saying that, the people can lynch you because they see Nnamdi Kanu as their mouthpiece. That person that is saying, then Nnamdi Kanu, what did he do? He killed into the problem of the Igbo people. This is why I'm desperately against him. Because he exploited the gullibility, the problem, the situation, the precarious situation of the Igbos to make money, to become important, to play word mouth, to tell the point is, when you say Buhari has sent his police, there are only 50 soldiers, they are coming to attack us. Is it not they have AK-47? We have AK-47. We shall meet face to face. Let them start coming. You had nothing. When you declared war, you said that in the next 2 days, he said on the 12th, they are going to start bombing. That he's going to come down, he's going to lead the war himself. You had nothing. These are facts. These are what we are judging. I'm not judging Nnamdi Kanu because it's Nnamdi Kanu. I'm not interested whether it's tall, whether it's short, whether it's handsome, whether it's ugly. I'm discussing the fate, the lives that are lost in the Igbo nation as a result of his carelessness or as a result of his over-ambition. This is my anger because he knows that it's not possible. He knows that it's not feasible. Get this point very clear. Look at the person that went to speak to when they wanted to get an appointment with the Pope. When you look at the ragamuffin that went to approach Cardinal Arinze, you look at the reckless. It was like a mechanic from a mechanical shop that was supposed to be the envoy of the Igbo nation to Vatican. These are what we are saying.
Don't you think that would have been because the Igbo elites did not make themselves available to fight with Nnamdi Kanu?
What do you mean? He started insulting by Zik. I can give you a video where he said that Awolowo was advising Zik that let them divide Nigeria. Zik nefisi baka baka. Who is Nnamdi Kanu to say Zik nefisi baka baka? Does he have a certificate? Who is he? Zik nefisi baka baka. Zik nefisi baka baka. Nnamdi Kanu brought a culture that destroyed the Igbo nation. Now, Igbo, when you see a visitor, if you beat a visitor in the eastern part of Niger, they will lynch you. A man no be a friend an Igbo. Ndigbo I will osisi kubwegi. But Nnamdi Kanu mezi an Igbo that visitors can no longer come to an Igbo. Dead body is no longer anything. Omumadu became nothing. This is why I hate his actions. Because today you now fly dead body in the social media as if you are flying a roasted chicken. You see,
but that's not Nnamdi Kanu's fault, is it?
Now listen, all these things emanated from Kanu. What I'm saying is, what was an Igbo before Kanu and what is an Igbo today? Now, Nnamdi Kanu started by, now listen, my friend. How did he start? He will go and pick all the dead bodies that were killed in Sudan, fly them in the social media. Muslims are, and the people are so gullible that not everybody sit down to analyze. People were receiving these videos and it was sinking in their mindset. And they were all lies. Because I want you to do this. Go and conduct an interview. Ask your people, how many people do you know? Just like COVID vaccine, when COVID came to Nigeria. Do you know somebody that died of COVID? No. You know somebody that knows somebody that died of COVID? No. You know somebody that knows somebody that died of COVID? No. You know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that... No. I want you to do this research. Begin to ask your question. See someone say, you know somebody that Flan has been killed? The answer definitely will be no. I need a mandate. I am the President General of Ndigbo Heritage worldwide. I conduct security meeting every weekend, every 2 weeks. Nobody in my security council has ever told me that he knows somebody that the Flan has been killed. I have state executives. I have executives everywhere.
We do see reports. We've seen the Ozowane report. We saw the Ebonyi State report. We see a lot of these reports in the media.
Are you talking about the report that was manipulated by Kanu? Because you see, there's a problem we have in the eastern part of Niger. You see, things are difficult. So the only way to survive is to go and create a Facebook page, go and create a YouTube page, start pumping any kind of news in that place, and the people will buy. And social media or YouTube will start giving you peanuts. Some people survive, so they have to invent lies. I'm saying the Television Authority of Nigeria, how many dead bodies have you seen there? What we see is ask questions. We're on the ground. I am on the ground. I told the eastern part of Nigeria. I spoke to most important people in Nigeria, and I'm going back to continue the consultation. I don't know anybody that was killed. I am not saying that there's no killing there. So people should not misquote what I said. But I'm saying that it's all these things are magnified by Kanu for his own personal and self-aggrandizement. Kanu told the world that it is not Buhari that is Nassau Rock. That the person in Nassau Rock is a Jubril from Sudan. And I want to ask you $1 million question. Can you imagine that's what is called the Security Council meeting? Now, in the Security Council meeting, all the former president of Nigeria will be present. All the chief justice will be present. All of them are going to be seated. Obasanjo, Abubakar. Then, when all of them are seated, one Jubril from Sudan will enter. They will knock. Obasanjo will stand up. Babangida will stand up. A chief justice of Nigeria. You can imagine that? But can you convince a whole lot of people that the person that has Sorok is not Buhari, that is Jubril? He convinced a whole lot of people that the wife of Buhari, Aisha, is in where for 6 months. When he told those lies against UK the next day came out and removed it. When the lawyer said that the UK has accepted the IPOB as a means of receiving asylum, immediately UK said, no, we didn't say anything like that. But because Babangida or Buhari's media team are such naive, listen, justice, during the time of Delegua, when Delegua was still Delegua, because I have my own opinion, many people have their own opinion. But initially, Delegua was a decent journalist and was writing. Now, when Delegua wrote something about the tribunal that was ongoing at Benin, Ghana came to defend him. And justice put him in prison. And when justice put him in prison, they asked justice, so why did you put Delegua in prison? He said, because what he wrote. He said that he had thought of not putting Delegua in prison. But again, he said, I should be the stupid man. Because incidentally, people are believing what Delegua was saying. Because Delegua called his court kangaroo court. And he summoned him and they put him in prison for calling his court kangaroo court. Because incidentally, people were believing what Delegua is saying. Buhari cannot come to this thinking, maybe because he does not have a competent team to understand, to counter. Could you imagine Twitter pulling down the account of the president of Nigeria because of the fact that he made a statement? So when you look at these things, you understand that first there's incompetency on the side of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We don't have a competent government. But on the other side too, you see Kanu, who manipulated social media, who used social media as a means to propagate his lies, and he succeeded in winning a lot of people. He won a lot of followers. But people, unfortunately, cannot sit down to assess. They can't sit down to evaluate, to analyze anything that they consume.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Okoye. You have actually said a lot on this kind of thing, and I'm surprised that these kind of feelings could be found in the southeastern part of Nigeria, where Kanu comes from. Because I am wondering why we see most Igbo elites, celebrating Kanu's arrest, while our brothers from the southwest are condemning it. Why is it like that?
You see, you cannot be more Catholic than the Pope. Neither can you be holier than the Lord Jesus Christ. You see, I cannot know you more than your wife. If your brother tells me that you are a bad man, I cannot presume that you are a good man. I want you to remember that when Nigeria were voting Obasanjo, nobody voted Obasanjo from the West. The West didn't vote. They said this is not a good man. We voted Obasanjo into power. Obasanjo, during his tenure, crude oil was selling at at $150. He did not build any factory. Oh, well, he sustained the cancer Nigerian debt, but he did nothing more than that. Obasanjo sold Nigeria. He sold Bakassi. His people warned us. We listened not. So, if the Southwest are celebrating Kanu, what harm did he do in Southwest? I want to tell you that a few weeks ago, it was no longer possible for people to go about their normal daily business. Nnamdi Kanu single-handedly declared a state of emergency. He said that no cockroach can move from one cupboard to the other. Nnamdi Kanu placed a ransom of $100,000 on the head of a sitting governor.
$100 million.
These are the issues we are discussing. So, how is he to place a ransom of 100 million naira on a sitting governor? These things they are madness. They are egocentrism ad infinitum. You cannot find word in lexicon to define all these things. People are afraid they couldn't come out because they know that if they come out, the non-government will kill them. It's not that we're respecting Kanu. So Kanu went above board. The people in Southwest could be embracing him because probably somehow he's playing their game. He's playing to their gallery because Igogo in the Southwest is campaigning. So when he gets a partner in the Southeast that is still campaigning, oh well, it's a good thing for him because you have to blow the microphone. But the point is, critically speaking, how can the Igbo nation fight a war? We are landlocked. Igbo nation, we are about 20% of Nigerian population. We have to be objective. Besides, we just left government a few days ago. We can go back to government. There's nowhere on earth where
I do not understand. How did we leave government? Are you talking about the government of ex-president Jonathan?
Yes. That government was dominated by the East. PDP belongs to the eastern part of the Niger. Even government of Obasanjo. The East were not left out. So the point is,
some would disagree with you. The people who are clamoring for a president of Igbo extraction would disagree with you.
You see, the thing is that I'm coming up with a conference at Uturu University. It's going to come up in early weeks of October, and I'm coming to discuss this. I want them to come. Let NIROH consults. We are open to dialogue. It's not a one-man show. If anybody has a strong argument, only fools don't change their mind. If anybody convinces me that the solution to the problem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is an Igbo president, I will come with him. But NIROH is saying that what Igbos need is a president of Igbo interest, somebody who has the interest of Igbos at heart. It could be you, it could be God, it could be an American. Because Goodluck just left power. During the government of Goodluck, we had the Mines and Power Ministry, we had the Petroleum Ministry, we have the Chief Economic Ministry, but they could not build the Niger Bridge. If you have
let me ask you, sir, what is the difference between a president of Igbo extraction and a president with Igbo interests at heart?
They are completely different things. A president of Igbo extraction could be another Goodluck. Because Goodluck, after 80 years or 7 years in government, could not build Niger Bridge. There's no factory that Goodluck built in the East that Buhari pulled down. So nobody should come and tell me that the solution to the Igbo people is Goodluck or another Goodluck. President who has an Igbo interest, Buhari, when he was in power, the first tenure of government of Buhari, one man was holding 4 ministries. So if we have another Yoruba man that is going to give the Igbo people, I'm discussing genuine Igbo people, not people like Inemik or Hadaladenik, Iwanyangu, who got all the contracts to build all the roads in the eastern part of Niger, and he embezzled the whole money. Not people like Ojuzo Kanu, who turned Imo Abia State to the debris it is. Not people like Rosia Sokorosha that ruined the Imo people. When you give these people, because they are from the eastern part of Niger, the president of Nigeria, you are doing more harm to the Igbo people than good. So what we are saying, what NIROH is saying that what we need is a president who has the interest of the Igbo people at heart. When I look around, All the people that are talking about Igbo presidency are people who are simply serving their self-interest. They are people who are simply looking for money. People who are never saturated. They are never satisfied with the billions they have stolen. Igbo nation is ruined, not because it's being ruled by Hausa Fulani. It's ruled by Igbo people themselves. The first governor we had after the war, who was installed for the 3 hours, it was Pupa Biaska told us only Belunyala. Maybe you don't know. During the time of Rogers Okorosha, if you want to receive any appointment in Imo State, you must sign a paper and sign off 30% of your money, of your salary. So NIROH is saying, we don't want these people. They do. Look at the governor we have in Anambra State. I want you to answer me. What do we need that airport for? What is that not? Is that not a political, another humongous political project? You know anywhere on earth where anything called what is it called? Cargo airport. I've never had it. I'm 57, and God has made it possible, gave me the privilege to have been around the whole world. We have cargo airport that was commissioned 2 days ago, and at the moment is not operational. So we don't need this kind of people. We need somebody who has Igbo interest, somebody who is going to go to the parliament. Listen, my friend, the Igbo should accept that they cannot survive without the rest part of Nigeria. You see, we are the same in this game. If you bring somebody like Ibrahim Ayage and make him president of Nigeria, I will vote for him. If you bring somebody like Hassan Kuka and make him president of Nigeria, I will follow him. I met the Archbishop of Onitsha and I asked him, how could things be this bad? Are you aware that people that are left leadership in Anambra State are the church? The Catholic Church decides who is going to be a governor in Anambra State. For the past 19 years, the Catholic Church have given us governors that have never conducted local government election in Anambra State. For 19 years, no local government election. So before you want to discuss with me what is happening in Abuja, I want to say, let us get it right first. Let us fix it. So I'm not worried that the person in Lagos is celebrating Kanu, while Dr. Paul Okoye is saying that Kanu is another evil. My question is simple and straight. The activities of Kanu, did he make the eastern part of Niger safer? The answer is no. The activities of Kanu brought more chaos, more bloodshed. Few months ago, few weeks ago, you cannot even take a bus 1 month later. So it didn't solve the problem. It created more problem. It added, these families are clean. His own added to the killing. Now I want to ask.
Okay, Dr. Okoye, let me interrupt you here. News reaching us a few seconds ago from one of our viewers here, Sayande Austin, is saying that there's been an outbreak of protests in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, over the rearrest of Nnamdi Kanu. I was going to ask you if you are not bothered about the fact that President Buhari's government might, as usual, bungle this Kanu's case and thereby create another monster, worse than Kanu from the southeast and perhaps other parts of the country where there is agitations. What do you think of that?
You see, when I start talking as the President General of the Ndigbo nation, you see, my priority becomes the interest of Igbo people. And I say I disagree with Kanu because he brought more chaos, he brought more killing. Buhari, I've said, and I want to repeat it, I want to be very emphatic. Nobody can come and tell me that Buhari government is performing. If anybody is saying that person is not being honest, that Buhari will create another monster out of Kanu, listen, if anybody did not expect people to protest, that person is not honest. But the point is, it can last for a day, it can last for 2 days. The government should be aware of that. The government should be aware that one or two people will come up and say, no, we disagree. Why did you arrest Kanu? And people come and tell you why didn't you arrest Shekau? And I forgot that Shekau is living in the bush. Kanu was living in an air-conditioned room. That was why his arrest was easy. Shekau is in the bush taking the risk. Kanu is not taking any risk. He flew away. Otherwise, his arrest could have been a little bit more difficult. When they wanted to arrest Owazulike, it was not easy to arrest Owazulike. Those days when Owazulike was so, they have to corner and play tricks to enter to arrest him. So, but Kanu was picked up like a chicken. That was why I said the chicken is finally coming home to roast. So I'm not bothered that there are a few people protesting. My position is simple, straight, and clear. I cannot agree with Nnamdi Kanu. I have said in the last broadcast that even God does not rule alone. God has senators, he has parliamentarians, and I name them. The 24 elders are the senators, the angels are parliamentarians, the Jesus is the deputy. God is ruling with somebody. Nnamdi Kanu is ruling alone. There's nothing on earth that can convince me that we need only Kanu. He has no advisor, no deputy, no executive. Only him alone. The money they contribute at IPOB is going in his own personal account. So there's no way anybody on earth can convince me that from my own personal experience that I know how government operate, Kanu is a problem to the Igbo nation. Because first, Igbos cannot afford another war. Another war will be devastating. Another war will create more havoc. Listen, when we were talking, people were not listening. But when they started the killing compelled the Ohanes and the rest of them, the governors. Because don't be surprised that the governors themselves loved what Kanu was doing. The politicians loved what Kanu was doing because they were the people giving Kanu money. The point was that incidentally, Kanu started the killing. And when Kanu started the killing, they became their own, what is it called? A project became at risk. But politicians loved what Kanu was doing because it could have been a way of zoning the presidency to the southwest, just southeast, sorry, just like it happened in southwest. So they sponsored him, they supported him. That is why it took them so much time to talk. It took them so much time to disagree. So I'm not surprised that people are protesting in Port Harcourt. I expected that to happen. I expected more people. But whatever that happens is still a fallout of the mischievousness of Kanu. I want people to come out. I'm ready to face anybody in any interview. Let the person that is talking, let him fix an appointment. Let's stop. My question is, the things I have said, prove them wrong. Tell me that Kanu has the capacity to fight Nigerian government. I want people to discuss that. I'm discussing facts. I'm not saying Kanu is tall, young, short. I'm saying I want somebody to come and prove to me that Igbo nation, that the better thing for them is to fight another war, like Kanu has started. Because Kanu started a war. When you start killing soldiers, you have started a war. I want anybody to come and convince me that we have the capacity to fight another war. War is an enemy that blows over any good.
You have said it a lot. You always say this in your messages, in your live videos, in your interviews. You always say this. And I give you due credit for that. But I was going to ask you if you're not bothered that the Nigerian government may be swatting a fly with a sledgehammer. You know, if they could go this far to apprehend Kanu all the way from wherever he is outside the country, while the north, the backyard of the president, is burning daily with insecurity, daily kidnapping and killings by terrorists.
You see,
does it not bother you?
You see, there's something I said the other day. When you tell me Buhari is a bad president, and I asked a question, I said, it's bad for everybody. Don't tell me Buhari is killing Igbos, because Buhari started killing his people first. Because Boko Haram started in the north. Buhari is from Katsina State. Some part of his state is not accessible. Now, I want you to understand one thing, my friend. The point is that insecurity is detrimental to the economic development of every nation. One of the things that every investor looks at is the security situation of every state. So the first thing we have to accept is that because there is insecurity in the north, investors are running away. There's more unemployment. What Kanu did was that he brought insecurity in the east, and the few people that were there ran away. Now, Buhari, is he using a sledgehammer? I asked a question before. Nobody answered me that question. Nnamdi Kanu and ESN. And ESN, to the point that even when Ohanaeze and the governors went to condemn Kanu, they were afraid. They couldn't call his name. If you go and listen to the press conference of Ohanaeze, all of them, the governors, they didn't mention his name. They were afraid. They were scared. He told the governor of Ebonyi State that he will die if he dare revoke the store of anybody if they don't respect the seat at home. Now, the point is, what other options do you have in the face of a man who has taken up arms? So the issue is not sledgehammer. It was easier to arrest Kanu because Kanu was living in a luxury. It is a little bit more difficult. If you want to go and arrest Shekau, you have to consider how many lives that are going to lose. Because if Shekau is surrounded by 100 people, you have to kill the 100 people to be able to take away Shekau. And they try to kill 100 people, you may lose 50 people. So if you want to go and kill Shekau, you have to think 200 times. Shekau does not sleep. He has 50 people armed. He has 100 people armed. You know that you are going to pass to get to where Shekau is. You have to pass 20 checking points. And these checking points are not static. They are dynamic. So these are the things we have to assess. It's not enough for you to assess Kanu with Shekau or Boko Haram. But we have to come to terms with the realities of our existence. My friend, Buhari has about a year and a few months to go. There's nothing on earth that's going to make Buhari to stay as the president of Nigeria for another 2 years. The question is, do we have to pull down the Igbo nation for Buhari? Or is it better for us to come back home and put our house in order and work strategically towards evolving a mechanism that is going to make us part and parcel of the next leadership? My brother, go and listen to the music played by Ozeman Suba. When you lose political power, you lose everything. The Igbos lost political power. What we need is political power. We don't need another Nnamdi Kanu to come and kill people or to come and burn that devolution. Ndigbo need the power or chichi. That's all. If you get power, you can fix all these things in 2 days. Even when you want to break Nigeria, get power and break Nigeria and go peacefully. There's no way you can do it now without bloodshed. Strategically, how many lives do you have to waste to achieve Biafra? Strategic decision compels you to look at the pros and cons. Whatever I want to do, I have to go and look at what are the consequences. What is the opportunity cost of what I want to do? Pareto equilibrium taught us you cannot treat somebody better. No stuff. So that is it. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's about what we stand to achieve, what we stand to lose, what we stand to gain. If we cannot be able to assess these things, then we are not honest to ourselves. We have to come to terms with the truth of our situation. There's no one part of Nigeria that can rule Nigeria. The Yorubas cannot rule. The Hausas cannot rule. The Igbos cannot rule. Nobody can rule alone. The South cannot rule. I said the other day, have we made peace with the South? The South said they are not Igbos. 72% of River State are Igbo speaking. Yet we have no power in River State. So people can protest. It's not their protest that is it. The point is, the protest, how many people are going to die again? They protested answers. What happened? I want my people to understand. Government is different from people. Government, the way government reasons is different from every Tom, Dick, and Harry reasons. They will go and protest. The government will enter the road and clear them. I want you to know, if the war is not on the side of Buhari, it would have been impossible to arrest Nnamdi Kanu. If Nnamdi Kanu was arrested and brought to Nigeria, that means it was with the collaboration of the Interpol. if the Interpol collaborated with Nigerian military services or DSS or whatever, that means that Buhari received the backing of the war. He received the backing of UN. He received the it's about bilateral trade. It's about bilateral.
Yes.
So
yes, Dr. Okoye. Yes, I was going to ask you that. You're a lawyer also. I was going to ask you the legal implications of Kanu's arrest. Do you think the British nationality that he has would pose a diplomatic challenge for Nigeria, Britain, and any other country that may be involved?
No, because Kanu did not renounce his Nigerian citizenship. What happens in a situation like this is that when you are in Nigeria, you are a Nigerian. When you are outside Nigeria, you are outside Nigeria. So when Kanu was in UK, he's a British man. Nigeria cannot intervene. But when Kanu is in Nigeria, he's a Nigerian. UK, because he did not renounce his Nigerian citizenship, he has a right to renounce Nigerian citizenship. If he had renounced Nigerian citizenship, he has a right at that point to ask to be tried in UK, or he could be tried in Nigeria as a British national. Today, he's a Nigerian 100%. But the fact that you have to accept is that the fact that he was arrested in Texas as some news, because BBC Pidgin reported he was arrested in Texas, others said he was arrested in UK. The point is that Nigeria does not have an airline. Nigeria does not have an airline. If he was arrested in UK, he must have flown British Airways to come to Nigeria. If he flew British Airways to come to Nigeria, he did not pass through the checking counter. If he did not pass through the checking counter, British authority must be involved to allow him or to allow Nnamdi Kanu in handcuff to get into the aircraft. I want you to know that United Nations Charter compels a pilot not to take anybody to a country without his agreement, without his authorization. Now, if they forced Kanu into an aircraft and brought him to Nigeria, it simply means that there was a collaboration of foreign government. Otherwise, it becomes infringement of a sovereignty of a nation. You cannot invade, you cannot fight the territorial integrity of a nation like UK or US.
Yeah, but the United Kingdom governments have come out to deny that he was arrested on their soil. They've issued a statement not long ago saying that Kanu was not arrested in Britain.
You see, the world we live in is a world where governments collaborate. You see, I said something just a few seconds ago. What I said is that Nigeria does not have an airline. Nigeria couldn't have used the presidential fleet to go and fly Kanu back to Nigeria. Remember that Kanu was arrested on Sunday, and on Monday was in Nigeria. That means he was arrested and immediately ferried to Nigeria. So the point I'm trying to make is that aircraft takes off only at the airport. And at the airport, there is security. Those security cannot be flattered without protocol. Those that brought Kanu to Nigeria flattered security. So when they flattered security, they flattered protocol. To flat a protocol in an airport, you need authorization of the Secret Service. The Secret Service operates and responds only to the government. They don't respond to the parliament. So the executive of whichever country that Nnamdi Kanu was picked up was involved. If the executive of that country was involved, it means that the government was involved. If that government was involved, that government must have been part and parcel of UN, because I don't know a country that has not ratified UN Charter on the Covenant for Social, Political, and Civil Rights. So,
a certain report has it that he was arrested in Kenya, and Kenya, I think, was colonized by Britain, right?
Yes. You see?
Yeah, if he was arrested in Kenya, of course, it means that they said that the Kenyan government officials, security officials, arrested him and then, alerted the Nigerian government. But
my brother, look at how this is work.
His arrests are still sketchy.
Look at how this is work. Somebody issued a bench warrant. Somebody alerted the Interpol. Somebody gave order, Mandato di Cattura International. an international order to catch Kanu, to take Kanu wherever he is. So when that happens, the Interpol is directly involved. Now the Interpol is directly involved means that UN is directly involved. Interpol is not an organ of Nigeria. He has headquarters in Paris, in France. So that's an organ of the UN. Like the World Court is an organ of the UN. So wherever you involve the Interpol, you have involved the World Authority, you have involved UN. You cannot go to United Nations or you cannot go to World Court with saying that the UN did not sanctify it. So the fact that Kanu was arrested outside Nigeria and brought Nigeria lends credence to what I've been saying all this while, that the world will not listen to us. The world will not listen to Biafra because we do not have a case. It's not because that the world does not want to listen to us. But when the world have to listen to us, they have to go and listen to Somalia. They have to go and listen to Syria. They have to listen to Afghanistan. They have to listen to Kenya. They have to listen to Cameroon. They have to listen to many other countries. And there are laws. There are rules. There are standards. The rules are there. Anybody can take a few minutes to go and investigate those rules. I was saying that it's impossible for Kanu to succeed. He cannot achieve it. And I think he knows that he cannot achieve it. If you come and say, I am sorry, I did not know that I cannot achieve it, I misled my people, I am sorry for all those lives that have been lost. Tomorrow, I will take my lawyer and go and join him in court.
Wow, that's good to know. That's good to know, Dr. Okoye. I know you don't say what you cannot do. I will be glad to see you do that.
Anything I say,
I will be glad to see you do that. After you are scathing criticisms of Nnamdi Kanu and his methods. But let me ask you, did you ever make efforts to reach out to him to render any sort of advice to him in order to see him correct his ways and manners?
Well, I did. You see that?
You did?
Yeah, I did.
And how did it pan out?
No, he couldn't listen. He couldn't even reply. I did. There are certain things I may not say here, but I think there are people that are even very close to NIROH that knows him very well, that are very close to him. You see, they were flowing around in the social media video of where he was with a woman, I mean, maybe the video was misconstrued because people thought so it as scandal. But the author of those videos are simply trying to say this is not a serious-minded people, a serious-minded person. Because a serious-minded person cannot afford to start taking a video. Every man makes love to a woman. But when you now allow the woman to take a video of where he was making love with you, he was on pants, it speaks of the mindset of the man. I'm not discussing whether he makes love to a woman.
No, but that's Kanu's personal life. Besides, the video in circulation is actually an old video. If you look at his looks of as of that time and as of the current time.
That video could be a video of 1,000 years ago. Now, you see, I'm trying to emphasize a point. It's not only the video, his dressing code. Am I communicating here? Now, you see, I'm not discussing Kanu per se, because I've been an activist of, in certain discussion, when I say certain things, it's not all about Kanu. Although today I try to address precisely certain issues about him. But when you look at his dressing code, it's not, there's no activist that has the time to go and select clothes, to go and select markers and match them, and match the ties with the top. It's not.
You mean dressing in designer's clothes? You mean no activists would appear dressed in designer's clothes?
I don't know how many activists that are very particular about their dressing code. It's something that happens maybe once in a year, but it only happens every day. I want you to go and look at all his dressing every day, everywhere you meet him. Okay, look at even this one he's wearing. Is he a gigolo? Is he a playboy? Or is he an activist? I'm being frank with you. I'm trying to say, go and look at the life of all the activists you know. Many of them cannot even shave their beards. That is not because they don't want to shave their beards. But we are always compounded in one trouble or the other that we pay little attention to our family life. Many of them don't have a wife or they were divorced by their wives. Go and look at the life of Malcolm X. Go and see him fighting with his wife. Go and look at the life of Martin Luther King. Go and look at him fighting with his wife. Mandela came out to divorce his wife. It's not that you don't want to keep a home, but because of the fact that as an activist, you are so immersed with trouble of other people that you really remember how to go and match your tie with your suit, with your shoes. I mean, you need time to go and select markers and order them to go and pick them. So I want you to take time and look at his dressing code. And you now take it to go and align it with a video of where he was making love. It was a hotel room, so it couldn't have been himself. Now, if you say,
I wouldn't give attention to that video because that video, that's his personal life, and we all have our personal lives. He may have been dealing with his wife after a long time of separation because he's a traveler, he's an activist who is never in the house and stuff. But I want us to change the tone of this conversation, sir.
I want to be a very emphatic on what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not the making love per se. No, it is that a man who paraded himself as a renowned activist has time to make videos where he's making love. That's the important thing. It's not the issue of whether he makes love or not. Even pastors make love, bishops make love, archbishops make love.
That could have been his wife having fun, recording an intimate moment with her husband.
A wife rarely make a video of the nakedness. Look, my friend.
Now, Dr. Okoye, let's not make this about Kanu's moral life. Because that could have been his wife recording an intimate moment, a rare moment, because Kanu is a traveler. Kanu is never in the house. Kanu is not. So all those moments, the wife will do everything to treasure the moment. So let's leave that. I want us to change the tone of this conversation now and look for solutions. Do you think, first of all, that Kanu's arrest would restore peace in the Southeast?
Well, Kanu's arrest has already restored peace. Now, I said something. I want us to be very clear on that. Just like the issue of making love, I've said and emphasized. It's not the issue of making love. No, the Southeast is already relatively peaceful. Why is it relatively? Because people have resumed their daily activity. Before now, if you want to cross Niger Bridge, you have to stop in the car, raise your hand, and trek across the bridge. In some places in Owerri, you have to stop in this pole, raise your hand, cross the other side, and enter your car. Those are embarrassments. It doesn't matter whether you're a president or not, but they have stopped. So the Southeast is already relatively very peaceful at the time we are talking. The point is it going to continue? That is what we don't know. Because you know why? What was my worries about this young man? My worries is that after the war of Aguilera and Umule, there was so much robbery around my area because I'm from Okozo. To the point, you remember, to the point that Bakas had to come in. So when you arm people, you are not even there. You are in London or US, wherever you are, and you give guns to these people. When they are hungry, you use what you have, you get what you want. They can simply take their gun and join the road. So the fear remains. There could be a reprisal. Who told you? The point is that na ayara kayambu and the mother tekatola wetonye telianola. So there's something again that is going to happen that is going to be greater than what has happened. But in the meantime, there's relative peace. At least we are sure that there's going to be election. Remember, I'm not supporting election in the state, but I think it is just very correct and just that there should be a change of pattern. That after 8 years of parliamentary in Anambra State, that Anambra State should have an opportunity to try another person. Let me believe and hope that God will give us the possibility to change the situation in Nnamdi, to evolve a new type of leadership. Because those who say they are not interested in politics allow themselves to be ruled by their inferiors. So let me hope and believe that within a very short time, we must have been able to gather enough momentum to evolve a mechanism that will evolve a decent, because there are no decent leadership in the Southeast. But in the meantime, oh well, it's normal because there's nobody that has taken guns at the moment publicly that is saying they don't want to see police along the road.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Okoye. At this point, I would like you to give us a clinical outline of possible solutions to the Ndigbo conundrum in Nigeria. The problem of facing Ndigbo. What are the clinical? Give us a clinical outline to the possible solutions.
You see,
of the problem Ndigbo are facing.
I said this at Enugu, and some of the times when I said it, people tend not to understand that. First, we have to accept that the problem we have in the Southeast is problem of power. I've said so many times that we have to treat power as a phenomenon that it is. When we discuss power, we have to eschew sentiments because you cannot attain power with sentiment. We have to accept that custodians of our powers are very comfortable with it. If they let loose that power, it means they are nothing. They will descend to our level. So we have to know that there's a battle to get our power. There's nowhere on earth where freedom is free. Freedom has to be fought and conquered by the interested people. So first, the Igbo should know that it's not issue of sentiment. It's about strategy. It's about wisdom. It's not about I am marginalized. It's not about I am Hausa. It's not about I am Igbo. It's about political power. The Igbo should know that there's nowhere on earth where majority are ruling. The Igbo should know that there's always a clique that evolve a leadership. The Igbo should know that they have to evolve a game plan. Now, I want to tell you, we have not prepared even anybody for this 2023. Everybody's going around ranting because you see, no part of Nigeria can rule alone. We have to accept that no part of Nigeria can rule alone. So we have to start forming alliance. There's something I said a few days ago. The Amayanabo was sent on exile by Gates Pip after the war because of the role he played during the Civil War. Ndigbo, have we made peace with the South? I said the last time that Asari Dokobo is Uzodima, Oyibo Kobo. I mentioned Oyibo Kobo. Don't have a glass of Oyibo. Have we made peace with them? Can we bank on the South? Igbos have 5 states. South have 6 states. Remember that we were the same geographical entity before Gowon strategically break it up. Because when Gowon was planning to slaughter the Igbos, because you should know that Gowon committed a genocide against the Igbos, because Gowon willingly allowed the soldiers to slaughter the Igbos out of wickedness or out of man's humanity to man. What Gowon did on earth cannot be forgiven. And I think that someday, somehow, we may have enough power, enough magnanimity to bring such people to book. Because people like Gowon must be brought to book. That's it. The very first way to start is, you see, there has to be consultation. I'm the President General of Ndigbo Worldwide. We are consulting. Because you cannot stand up and start shouting others at people. You can't stand up and say, I have the magic one. God has not given absolute wisdom to anybody. So the very first thing that we have to do as a people is first accept that we must partner with somebody to be able to rule Nigeria. Now, who can we partner with? The first people to partner with is those people that are our own, the videos, the FX, the jobs. We have to be sure of them, and that is possible. Just like when the Kanu that we took almost part of our discussion today, did he consult anybody from the South? Who did he spoke with? He was in London saying that Port Harcourt belongs to Obi Igbo. It's not. Who cares whether it's called Obi Igbo? The point is that the people there, did you talk with them? People are protesting in Port Harcourt. Who are protesting in Port Harcourt? There are people that when they protest in River State, when they protest, when I see Clark protest, I know that people from Port are protesting. Everybody was talking
but those people, in fairness to Kanu, he had tried to bridge those gaps. I remember he was in very charming terms with Asari Dokubo before they fell out. I also know he enjoys a very charming relationship with Tompolo, the popular militant from Warri.
You see, when you go to discuss with Asari Dokubo, you should know that you are discussing with a militant. If you want to go and discuss with River State, you go and discuss with River State. I was trying to say something. Everything was happening. But when the Southeast governors came together with a few elders and said, we disagree with Kanu, a few days, Kanu was arrested. You know who is a slave? A slave is somebody that his people agreed to sell. If your people do not agree to sell you, you are not a slave. So people don't look at things critically. We don't sit down to analyze facts. What are you protesting? The governor of Fiber State was part of the people that said we don't want Biafra. The governor of Fiber State proscribed IPOB. The governor of the Southeast, all of them came together to proscribe IPOB. A few days ago, all the governors in the Southeast, all the elders, they came together and proscribed what IPOB is doing today. A few days later, Nnamdi Kanu was picked up like a chicken and brought to the Southeast. Don't that send a message to you? So the question I'm trying to make is this. Issue of power, first, should be seen as the phenomenon it is. We have to eschew sentiment from power. We have to know that we must have to align with somebody to get power. We must know that nobody can govern Nigeria alone. We must have to come out of the blame game. Buhari is not a good government, but is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Must be seen as that. The right thing is, the president and commander-in-chief, sir, your decision about so and so is wrong. We ask you to reverse your decision because we disagree with that. If the president does not do that, tomorrow you organize a demonstration and go to the public. Mr. President, sir, we have said that we disagree that all the chief of staff, all the presidents and ministers is from the north. If the president does not agree, you go back. Next tomorrow, you organize a press conference. Go to the president. But you can't say, look, this idiot, you are not supposed to be making all the Northerners president. You are not, you look, this bastard. He is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So, official don't demand respect. That you call Buhari president does not mean that you support his actions.
But let me ask you, Doc. Many people, we have seen many people try that option and fail. People like Owazurike, people like even Asari Dokubo, a lot of different activists, pampering the president. Don't you think Kanu's approach, the virulent approach, his caustic tongue, using it to insult everyone, actually drew attention to this Biafran conundrum and kept it on the front burners for all these years?
You see, Kanu operated at a time when we have social media. When all these people operated, there was no social media, my brother. If there was social media, Wazuke could have done more than Kanu. Wazuke is more educated than Kanu. Wazuke holds a master's in law from an Indian university. So you can't place both people anyway in the first place. Wazuke has a track record. Sorry, I don't want to discuss Kanu at his private level. But if you want me to ask the question, I would want to say, what was he doing? How many jobs have he had in his life? How many positions has he had in his life? A leader does not fall from him. A leader has a track record. If you ask me who are you, I tell you who I am. If you want to go and do, you go and do that back me. There are people, somebody cannot come and say I'm a president. You must have the president of a group or before you become president of it, before you president the social club. So you see, there are certain things you have to credit. There are certain things I want you to accept that have happened. Now, today, there is no longer respect in Nigeria, especially in Ndigbo land. When you talk, a small boy of 5 years will insult you. A boy of 10 years can insult a man of 100 years today in the East. And they will tell you that why should I respect an elder when they didn't do what they were supposed to do? As if the elder is causing a problem. So the question is that we have to come to terms with these realities. It's not issue of what happens and what does not happen. The approach and method is violent. It cannot be accepted anywhere on earth. Those people that allowed Kanu to be arrested and brought to Nigeria with their airline, they received the dossier, they sat down, they analyzed it. It's a government. Whether it's government of Libya, whether it's government of Kuwait, whether it's government of America, they received the dossier. Nigerian government through the embassy, through the envoy, made a case. Someone left to Nigeria to go and tell that government, look at this man in your country, look at who he is, and presented their affair. Before governments collaborate, there are issues, it's discussed. We cannot continue to think that we are wise, others are fools. I want you to see the damage that Kanu has done to Nigeria. Fulani Janjaweed. Is Kanu better than Fulani people? Why insult their race? Fulani Janjaweed. That's the name you give Fulani people. Why are you insulting a race? Hausa people are foolish. Is Kanu better than Hausa people? We have to understand that he enthroned a culture of disrespect, a culture of anarchy, a culture of aggression, a culture of hatred. You have to condemn this. Ndigbo seasonal balo, kama sa osonalo apo. Kanu enthroned a culture of hatred, a culture of bitterness, a culture of rancor, a culture of wickedness. Killing is no longer a news, no longer a story. I'm from Okozu. They took 19 Fulani people. These are small children. They were born in Okozu. They were going to school in Okozu. They were allowed by my town. They came and used me and cut their necks. How do you cut the neck of a human being? It did not touch your heart. Kanu is wicked. Why don't we accept this? He does not belong to this world. He's a cannibal.
Someone here is actually suggesting we look at the issues that created Kanu, the things that led to the struggle rather than the person of Kanu. Kanu may not be a perfect person, but how about the society that threw him off? How about the circumstances that created Kanu? How about the circumstances that helped sustain the belief of his masses in him?
You see, if you speak as an Igbo man, I will ask you to fix another appointment so that I'll tell you the history. We want to discuss about Nigeria, it becomes a different ballgame. The issues that brought Kanu into power are clearly before us. The question, what we are analyzing is not whether there are problems. I've said there are problems. I have repeatedly said there are problems. And I said the problems are there. Obasanjo came, met them and left. The presents are there. Yar'Adua came, met them and left. Problems are there. Goodluck came, met them and left. Buhari came, he met them, he's going to leave. What changed in Buhari was that he was insensitive. He does not have a good mass media. He's insensitive to the sentiments of Nigerians. That is what made Buhari. The Igbo should understand. In the government of Obasanjo and the government of Goodluck, the Yorubas were marginalized. That was why Goodluck had to go and make a special pact with Yorubas. The Yorubas felt marginalized, and that was why they brought Buhari to power. We have to accept this fact. There's no point running away from the truth. So, the problems, the things that brought Buhari to power, brought the rest people to power. People continue to forget. Barack Obama was part of the people that evolved the mechanism that brought Buhari to power. All of us saw it. We saw bring back our girls. Because Goodluck refused to sign the gay law that Barack instructed him to sign into power. And they did everything possible to force him out of power. And they evolved Buhari. When Barack requested for ammunition for the American government, they refused to give him ammunition. We have to know that a lot of power were at play to evolve the mechanism that brings Buhari to power. Now, if you want to go and look at Africa, as a Pan-Africanist, I'll ask for another appointment so that I educate the person that I ask a question about Africa. So that I'll tell you how to respond to a guy. Maybe he does not know. Maybe he does not know that Cameroon are dying. Maybe he does not know that there's a document signed that is called the Pact of Continuous Colonialization. Maybe he does not know that the Benin Accord of 1963 made Nigeria made okreka, importation to Nigeria, and a contraband, but importantly through Cotonou by Nigeria is not a contraband. So when people ask questions and they don't take a little time to go and investigate, they will ask questions. I want to teach that person that 4 people are ruling the world. 4 people, Rocket, Rockefeller, I'll get the 2 names that I will give you. I want the person to know that Bill Gates bought majority share in 4 of the most powerful pharmaceutical companies in the whole world. A few days later, the vaccine for COVID was evolved. I want the person to know that. I want the person to understand that we are not speaking against Kanu, that I'm saying I have more information than Kanu, and want the people that say that what I'm saying is not right to come and face me and give me a different information. I want him to know that 4 families are ruling the world.
Dr. Okoye, I have to pause you at this moment, so we can take the last question before we round up, because we were supposed to actually run this for 1 hour, but because of the explosive nature of the subject, we had to give it an extra 30 minutes. You were actually talking about very controversial issues there, and I believe some other day we would fix a special date for topics like that. But right now, let's look at, let me ask you, if you were President Buhari, how would you handle the different issues bedeviling Nigeria as a country, looking at security, economy, and political issues?
You see, Nigeria has a problem that from the point of view of macroeconomics. You see, we have to accept investment is a function of employment is a function of investment, and investment is a function of employment. Now, you cannot have employment without investment. Most countries have flattened their interest rate to attract investment. The situation we have in Nigeria is such a complex situation that you have inflation rate at double digit. No, so when you go into monetary contraction, you assume you solve no problem because you cannot attract investment through monetary contraction. If you go to monetary expansion, how do you do that in a country where the inflation rate is already up to 99%? Now, you take that and add it to the complex and the fundamental problem we have. Nigeria is a consumer economy. You see, the problem we have in Nigeria at that point of view is a macroeconomic issue, the macroeconomic problem. And you see, and I cannot understand why you have an accountant in the Ministry of Finance. That ministry is meant for a thinker, somebody who understands the chemistry of macroeconomic principles. It's not meant for somebody who can sit down there and go to America and talk for the sake of talking. These are issues that you have to see the person in the central bank. People, when they have economic problem, they look for seasoned economics. Because even when you apply a macroeconomic principle, after the first quarter, it needs to be corrected. Because if you go for monetary contraction, after a few days, you have to go and look at the parameters. If you go and look at the parameters and the parameters are not functioning, you have to correct them. Alan Greenspan brought in an economic jargon that nobody ever had in his life, and it is working for US. Greenspan put. We saw Draghi when he was in the European government to do what he did by forcing money into the economy. You see, the world is passing through a very a very grievous moment because the world is living on debt. It's not only Nigeria. Now, Italian debt is about 140% of GDP. American debt is about 80% of the country's GDP. A few countries that are competent or comfortable is a country like Germany, but they have debt of about 4% of their country's GDP. So the point is, when we go and look at all these situations, when we go and look at the macroeconomic parameters of this country, Nigerian situation becomes a little bit complex. If you make me the president of the Federal Bank of Nigeria, the very first thing we have to do is monetary contraction. It's going to have a very reflex action. But the situation you have yourself in Nigeria, where you have an inflation rate of about 9%, you cannot afford not to do that. Now you have to sanitize the country. There's something we must do as a country. That thing we must do, Obama did it, George Bush did it. We have to open the border and ask those people who kept Nigerian money in America, in London, in US to bring it back. There has to be in Nigeria where all those money start away. Government has to make a waiver. We have to retrieve this money because there's nothing to stand on to move Nigeria forward. And Nigeria has to evolve a mechanism. There are no infrastructures. I made a project to the government, and I said, the government, there are three things you need. The three things you need is that you cannot take off. Now, in the country you live called Nigeria, nobody can come to Nigeria. Investors cannot come because we don't have the international protocol. Nigeria does not have ISDM protocol. So there's no way a country can come to Nigeria because any source company coming to Nigeria does not have a basis to build this telecommunication gadget. How do you come to Nigeria? If Bigot come to Nigeria, he cannot communicate with his wife. Why is India moving forward? India is moving forward because in the communication highway, the man at Silicon Valley, who is where you have all the most qualified and educated technicians and scientists on earth. The man at Silicon Valley is there inventing. In the night when he's going to bed, he put it on telecommunication highway. The man in India who was sleeping when he was working, woke up in the morning, open his computer and see everything that was done at Silicon Valley. The videos that we are taking, the films, he develops them. By the time he's working, the man in America is sleeping. He wakes up in the morning, the man there has pushed what he has done, and the movement continues. So nobody can go to Nigeria. First, because there's no fundamental telecommunication to sustain that. What you have is satellite. No responsible company can build this telecommunication gadget on satellite. Now, if you want to accept that, the second thing you must do as a country is, when you have shot, because people think the greatest problem is light. No. Because when you buy a generator, you have a light. But when you don't have it, in the year 2021, the world is on a fast lane and you cannot communicate in Nigeria. All trunks are busy, please try again later. Nigerian problem is perennial. And remember, Moshood Abiola destroyed Nigeria because the telecommunication you have in Nigeria was the telecommunication Moshood Abiola used the money he stole from Nigeria to go and bring wires from Germany and install it.
There you go again, Dr. Okoye. There you go again. Raising controversial issues at the twilight of the interview. This actually, we've gone almost 1.5 hours having this discussion. And I'm sorry I have to interrupt you at this point to draw the curtains on this very interesting conversation I had with you. If you just joined us, this is Dr. Paul Okoye, the President General of Ndigbo Royal Heritage, firing on all cylinders, delivering his message, very, very punchy messages, even though not everyone will like that message. But the thing is that he delivers it irrespective of what you think. He sends his message out. He says it the way it is. He doesn't care. And he has facts. He has a historical background to most of his stories, to most of the instances that he gives. Dr. Paul Okoye, I want to thank you very much for honoring the invitation to featuring on this show today. I hope you'll be available again when we'll call you to talk on more important issues, like some of the controversial issues you were going to raise there. I would like us to discuss them in the days ahead, maybe some other time when you have time. Even the Anambra, you are a very proud Okuzo man. You always talk about Okuzo in Anambra State. And there are elections there's an election coming up. The gubernatorial elections in Anambra State is coming up. And I would like us to talk about that in the days ahead. But for now, I want to thank you very much for coming for the show.
Thank
you, and have a good night. I am still your brother, Vincent.
Thank you.